This is David. I wanted to jump in because, again, so many of you all over the world, I'm amazed at how many people look at these videos worldwide, not just the United States. I want to say something about what the Mormons say and what the Mormons do. I've said this over and over and over in my videos. You cannot look at what they say. You have to look at what they do. Their experience, it speaks much louder than their words. Now, our town here, and I won't tell you what it is because the Mormons will grab me on the street, throw me in the pool with blocks of cinder blocks around me. Our little town is celebrating the 4th of July. Now, the 4th of July is the largest birthday holiday of the United States of America. I'm not a real patriotic buff guy, but, you know, it's the birthday, and I have some respect for the 4th of July. Well, the old colors, red, white, and blue. How do those colors get into Utah? Utah was against the federal government. For over 100 years in the state of Utah, the Mormons hated the federal government. They practiced polygamy when they said that they weren't. They promised they weren't. It was proved that they were. They were lying to the federal government. Taylor lied. Wilford Woodruff lied. Taylor took, I think, 2 more wives in the Salt Lake Temple after he told the American government, we don't practice polygamy anymore. Bullshit. They practiced it right through John Taylor. And today, down in Colorado City and down in the St. George area, and I've seen it all over up here in the northern parts of Utah, they don't get down on polygamists. Polygamists get down on 14-year-olds. The Attorney General in the state of Utah doesn't do shit. When you see polygamy, I see houses with 37 bedrooms in it. Does that make sense? But the government never comes down, the police never show up, and the Mormon Church, as involved in polygamy as they ever were, is just underground. It's just underground. Now, when we had the 4th of July here in my town, we didn't have a parade. We didn't even hang any flags up. It looked like a damn ghost town. Now, the 24th of July, which is a Utah holiday, celebrating all the cowboys and cowgirls that came across the plains, that's the holiday in Utah. The firecracker places have all opened up again. Flags all through our community. Posters, signs on the lights downtown. 4th of July, 0. 24th of July, my God, you'd think that Jesus was coming. You would think Jesus was coming. It's the way the Mormons are. They say one thing, but they want another thing, a theocracy. They want the entire United States to be their theocracy, and Mitt Romney is their hometown boy. Now, when the Negro, I'm sorry, I'm old, when the Negro man beats him, the Mormons are going to be astonished because they have a long-held belief that the Constitution will hang by a thread and the Mormons and their priesthood will come in and save the Constitution. Well, I don't see the Constitution hanging by a thread, and I see a Mormon trying to come in and fulfill that fake prophecy. The Mormons are not patriotic. Don't let them fool you. There's one thing that the Mormon Church worships. It's called Joseph Smith and his 14-year-old pedophile activities with young girls in 8th grade. That's what they worship. You believe it. You excuse him for those behaviors. You're with them or you're against them. The Mormons say they're persecuted. They're not persecuted. They never have been persecuted. Read the history of being driven out of Illinois. Read the history of being driven out of Missouri. The damn Mormons went into the community and act like total assholes. They said to the community, God has sent us here. Give us your land. The farmers said, no, you're nutballs. Get out of here. They're driven out? I don't think so. Nauvoo was given a city charter to be a legal city. It was. Till Joseph Smith burned down the Nauvoo Expositor and ruined all of the typeset because it was about to say he was screwing all the 14-year-old girls in town and many of the married women whose husbands were on mission. He remarried them to him. They're not driven out of anywhere. You know, it's like an asshole who comes to school and he takes your books and throws them down. He bounces you against the locker. He makes fun of you. He embarrasses you in front of the school. And you stick up for yourself and go, no, you ain't going to do that. And then he goes, oh, I was driven from the school. The principal hated me. He wouldn't let me beat up all of the nerds. I exposed myself, but hey, you got to show the good things when they're there. Who in their right mind who has read the history of the Mormon Church thinks those people are pure persecuted? It's cult. Cults have their people believe they're being persecuted because God is with them and Satan is with the real world persecuting them. Bullshit. It's not true. Mormons are not patriotic. They only use the red, white, and blue to cover up their sins, to cover up their goals of theocracy, to cover up their excuses for Mountain Meadows, for Joseph Smith the pedophile, for not allowing the blacks to have the priesthood. For all of the shenanigans they've done, they deserve to be driven out of the area of normal people. And when they got to Utah, Johnson's army had to come and say, stop the polygamy crap. Okay. These are not patriotic people. They were against the IRA. Is that right? ERA. The IRA. I think that's up in Ireland. The ERA for women. They did not want women's rights. They were not for blacks becoming citizens. Joseph Smith had a black woman that he said could go to the celestial kingdom, but only as a slave and a servant. They were against the gays. They're becoming quieter and quieter now because they want to be a mainstream church. Believe me, it's going to take a lot for them to be a mainstream church. They're against equal rights, equal pay, equal opportunities for women, equal opportunities for blacks, equal opportunity for gay people. They are against. The only thing they're for is themselves. So they wrap the American flag around them and then hide under it like some kind of satanic animals. They're not patriotic. They hate the federal government. They hate food stamps. They hate Medicare. They hate everything that allows poor people to have an opportunity and a chance. They hate the minimum wage. They hate the tax system. They use their 501(c)(3) IRA tax exemption, and it's outrageous the way they use it. It's the most misuse of a government program I've ever seen. I was a director of a 501(c)(3), and I would have never pulled the shenanigans that the Mormon Church pulls under that particular exemption with the IRA. I hope to God the government chases them and takes away their tax exemption. It's crazy stuff. But when you see a Mormon wrapped in a red, white, and blue flag, open the flag up, and you're going to see little pioneers walking on the plains. Do you think the Mormons were the only pioneers that walked across this country? Do you think that their children died in any larger proportion than other wagon trains that came through the United States? No. No. The persecution is a farce. It's a shenanigan. It's a trick and trial that once Mitt Romney, if he gets in, you guys are going to be Mormons, dead or alive. You're going to be Mormons. And those people don't respect other people, they don't respect the federal government, and state rights, state rights, state rights. Why? Because this state is a theocracy. They own every piece of the government, all of the prosecutors, and all of the law enforcement. And they want that for themselves, for the United States of America. Please vote for Romney, and you can be real safe in a theocracy. But you will be buying funny underwear. Believe me.